Hey, we're going to be running through this calendar pretty quick. There was a call for a public hearing. I just want to make sure everybody knows the paper is up there. So if anybody wants to testify, if you will, please sign it. Senator Elliott, you don't count. All right, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Clerk, if you could call the roll.
Senator Butler, Senator Cornley, Senator Chastain, Senator Coleman, Senator Figures, Senator Gavan, Senator Hatcher, Senator Hovey, Senator Kelly, Senator Melson, Senator Roberts, Senator Sessions, Senator Weaver, Senator Bell.
Here. All right, SB 297 by Senator Gudger.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it. And committee, this is a bill on the Office of Water Resources. Director Kenneth Boswell's asked us to look at this, and as we go forward, it's just changing an exempt employee service.
Senator Gudger, already have a favorable and a second.
I do want to have a comment, though. I'm just glad when I read this that I didn't have to be a wrecking ball on the first bill that the pro tem brought up here, so I'll move favorable.
I called him a wrecking ball on an earlier committee today on bills. So, Senator Weaver on second. All right, if you'll call the roll. There's the roll established.
Senator Butler, Senator Cornley, Senator Chastain, Senator Coleman, Senator Figures, Senator Gavan, Senator Hatcher, Senator Hovey, Senator Kelly, Senator Melson, Senator Roberts, Senator Sessions, Senator Weaver, Senator Bell.
Aye. All right, next bill will be SB 316 by Senator Singleton. I'll carry that for him.
Thank you, Chairman and Committee.
Thank you. All right. What this bill is educational tourism distillery bill that allows distilleries to have tastings, serve food, serve other beverages. It's a pretty simple bill. ABC favorable on this. They've checked everything, run through the rules. So I'll ask for a favorable and a second on it for Senator Singleton. Yes, basically be treated same as like the distilleries are in Kentucky and all for economic tourism impact.
Can we dictate it got to be in North Alabama?
No, we cannot, sir. You're trying to wreck a bill again.
Move favorable.
Second.
Right.
I was asking for recognition.
Oh, I'm sorry. I will
He's still wrecking
withdraw.
things today, Senator. All right, give me 1 second. All right, Senator Gavan is the first.
Okay.
Coleman is second. All right, previous roll without objection. Add Senator Chastain to the roll. All right. SB 317, I'm going to charge Senator Singleton something for doing this. SB, which is good. This is the Innovate Alabama. This changes their board of directors basically to staggered terms instead of everybody expiring at the same time. Kind of a no-brainer. And got a second. Made favorable by Senator Roberts, second by Senator Chastain. Unless any objection, let's use previous roll. All right, SB 312 by Senator Smitherman. I'm handling it also. And this is a transfer on event locations, whether it's the sports stadiums, catering, where they can transfer alcohol from one venue to another, like at Alabama, Auburn, Troy, all these places. Believe it or not, at the end of the football season, the alcohol has to be destroyed instead of being transferred to the basketball facility from basketball to baseball. So this is, ABC's favorable with this. It's just an old law we got to correct so that catering is the same way. Wedding caterers and all can take alcohol from one venue to the other. So it's just an administrative bill to get it corrected. So I ask for favorable and a second on it. All right, Roberts, Gavan. And unless there's any objection, previous roll. Add Senator Melson to it.
Move favorable, Mr. No, I'm just folks, we talked about this last time, or I guess it was a week or two ago. This is the peer-to-peer car sharing app. A lot of y'all probably heard of a brand name called Turo, the Jeep, if you will. And so we're doing this already now, but this would provide a framework for some regulation and address some tax policy associated with rental versus rental taxes versus sales taxes that have already been paid. I will say there are still a number of amendments that need to get on this particular piece of legislation, most that I have talked to members about. We are good with. I'd like to accommodate them all on the floor, possibly as one instead of a multitude of different amendments. But this is still a work in progress.
Okay.
But I would like to try to move
Senator
it to
Colvin.
that possible.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the recognition. About to call you Mr. Chairman as well, but
This room will do that.
you know what? Hey, we were here earlier today. Senator Elliott, and I heard you. I heard that there still is some work that has to be done on it. I would like to have a conversation with you. As it relates to the city of Birmingham and Jefferson County. So I'd like to have an offline conversation with you just to make sure. And I know where you're from. This sounds really good. The first time I've seen one of these, I saw it in Nashville.
Yeah.
When my daughter was in school there. And so, that was, for there, again, those big tourism areas, no brainer. Just want to make sure that for Birmingham, Jefferson County, it doesn't adversely impact what we already have.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So I
We're
don't
going
know
to
if
address
that's
your
one of the
issue.
ones.
I'm chuckling because I think I've seen a draft of your amendment and it deals with a local act. It's a Title 45. I just couldn't resist when I saw it.
Yeah, so
But yes,
that
ma'am.
folks that might not be clued into the joke. We have another committee that we're on together. He's my chairman, where we're dealing with a statewide bill that has local application.
Yes, ma'am.
If you can follow the joke.
Happy to help with that. And this is just a really cool way. Say you need a different vehicle than what you've got right now. So you're going on a trip, you need a minivan or something like that. You can go rent one of those from somebody else, and you can take that and you can go back to driving your little car, your pickup truck or whatever. And it's just a real neat way to do that. And it works pretty well, not just in tourist areas, but elsewhere too when you need it.
We have a favorable by Senator Roberts. We have a second.
I had a comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I appreciate Senator being willing to work with us. We do have some work that to be done on this. I think my amendment, I had an amendment, but it was into the sub, and I don't think that's going to be the same sub. So I'll work with him on that later. But I think he's moving in the right direction, and I appreciate his cooperation on that.
You got it.
And I think there are several amendments that's going to end up being a sub on the floor, and I think we're all aware of that. Do we have a second? All right, Senator Van, second. And adding the others that come in previous role. Okay, go ahead.
I want to abstain, Mr. Chair, until we get have our discussion.
Trust but verify. I like it.
All right. HB 1, I know Senator Sessions is not here yet, but you going to do your own or you want me to do it? I can do it. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Come on up.
Assuming you have the amendment, Mr. Chairman.
I think I do. You can go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is House Bill 1, and what this does, it creates a seafood marketing fund out of Sweet Grown, Alabama. We had a marketing fund several years ago out of Restore Act money, and so this is an agreement between the Grocers Association and the Organized Seafood Association. And essentially what we're doing is we're, on the wholesale seafood license, we're adding $200 that'll be directed for marketing seafood domestic Alabama.
Okay. Go ahead, Senator Robert.
Quick question. So this will now be included in Sweet Grown?
It will be. It'll come under Sweet Grown.
Great idea. Thank you, sir.
Senator Van.
So, Representative, I'm assuming it's a statewide advertising campaign, or
It is. It's reminiscent of what they did a few years ago, if you remember, the Buy Gulf Seafood. They ran ads and, did tourism marketing, that sort of thing. And the money for that just got tapped out. And so this is a way for essentially them to market Alabama seafood moving forward, and it's beneficial to the grocery stores, restaurants, and of course, commercial seafood, which is my district.
All right. Everyone will look at the amendment. It's got Senator Sessions is still stuck, I think, in ag or on his way up. So if nobody wants to offer it, I'll be glad to offer the amendment until he gets here. We have a first and a second on the amendment. Senator Roberts first. We have a second on the amendment. Second. All right. Previous. The amendment.
But I do have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Ms. Chair, I was looking at the fiscal note. So if we're going to increase the dealer license, or double it, but then why is it still costing us or the state of Alabama additional money? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well,
And I'm in support of your bill. Some
thank
years ago, I had a piece of legislation to designate the Black Belt as an area where we could, and they ended up doing it. We ended up not even having to pass a piece of legislation, work with the ag department to get a special designation of all of that. And so I'm with you. I'm just trying to figure out why it's still costing us some money if we're increasing the license.
on your fiscal note, if you don't mind me asking, how much does it say on there?
It says 26,000, which is not a whole lot for here.
Right.
But still, again, trying to figure out why it's going to cost us anything if we're increasing the license. Y'all, excuse my voice, I'm still dealing with a little bit of laryngitis.
My thought on that is the original bill that I subbed out in the House on the floor had some language in there about public health inspections.
Okay,
And we felt that was duplicative of what we were already doing, and
understood.
we took all that out. So that's my thinking, is that's
Thank
probably
you, that does help clarify.
on the whole bill.
All right, any other questions? I need a first and a second on the bill as amended. Carnley's first, Coleman second. Using previous role unless no objections. All right,
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members.
all right. HB 253. I think kitchens is, I thought I saw you walk in. Go ahead, sir.
Out of breath running from House Judiciary Committee, but thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. This bill is something we actually worked on last year. It was on the calendar the last day and failed. We have the Senate version already moving right now also, but what it does is we have organizations, manufacturers around the state that airplanes come in. There's one at the Birmingham Airport. We have one in my district. Airplanes that come in, if they're going to be transferred from, say, Delta to Southwest, everything that they do to that plane is not tax exempt. So that work is not happening in the state of Alabama. They call it a flyover state. They're flying to Mississippi and other states that have that tax exemption. So it's to provide a tax exemption for that.
And I think Senator Carnley has a amendment.
Yes, sir, I do. And what this would do would exempt from ad valorem tax certain general aviation aircraft, those over 12,500, which are generally your commercial, your what I call corporate jets.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, where that's coming from. We have a lot of corporations here in Alabama already. It's been identified. They leave their planes over in Georgia, get the fuel in Georgia, maintenance in Georgia. The pilots live in Georgia.
Yeah.
The plane bounces over here, picks up the corporate people, flies them to wherever, flies them back here, and
We have
we're
it
trying to get the fuel and trying to get the taxes off, and the pilots moving back here. And the companies want to bring them here. They just don't have the ability because of our tax structure on that. And I think that's what the amendment.
Yep, it does, and we have that happen a lot where I'm at. People, they keep them in Florida, they fly them up here, pick somebody up and take off.
In
But
Birmingham, I know Birmingham's got a lot of that.
a lot of these airports would benefit from having the storage, paying the hangar fees and things like that, and have them keep the aircraft in the state.
Senator Chastain's the first. We have a second on the amendment. Second. All right. Now, on the bill as amended, Senator Chastain's the first. Do we have a second on the bill as amended? Senator Roberts is second on that. Everybody want to use previous row? No objections. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee.
HB 95. Yeah, didn't I think. HB 95. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a simple bill. Simply, all it says is if you put a new air conditioning unit in your house or you buy a home that's had a new air conditioning unit, the warranty stays with the home. Right now, some of these warranties don't transfer with the home if it's sold, so this says the warranty stays with the home if the home is sold.
factory warranty.
All right. Any questions? All right. Carly's the first. Weaver's second. All right. Previous roll.
Might I say this is all worked out, everybody, no opposition.
All right. Previous roll, no opposition. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. HB 302, Representative Robbins.
Thanks, Chairman. Thanks, committee. I presented this bill last week, and I'll just remind y'all of the three things I think it does, which is it protects legal immigrants that are already in this state, it protects our tax dollars, and it just ensures that all taxes are correctly paid and we collect all the taxes that are owed from immigrant populations.
Yes, I have an amendment.
All right, Senator Weaver.
So I have a friendly amendment that I believe that you are aware of that defines bona fide employment service provider and some of the things related to the E-Verify pursuant. So at this proper time, I'd like to offer the amendment.
Okay. It should be right before the bill. I can pass it down if you need it.
Mr. Chairman, while we're looking for the amendment, can the gentleman explain the bill one more time for us? I know we had just a little bit more explanation, because I remember feeling as if you were saying that it was protecting immigrants, but I wasn't so sure that it was. So I'm just trying to just refresh my memory, please, if you don't mind.
I'm happy to refresh. So what it does, when I say how it protects immigrants, it defines the term labor broker. And it's a term of art that we'd kind of be creating here in Alabama, but it's in essence an individual or an entity that are transporting individuals into this state for work purposes. So in essence, they are trafficking for labor, so labor trafficking. And we're saying that if you're a labor broker, you've got to register with the state and you've got to E-Verify. So if you're bringing 6 or more immigrants into the state of Alabama for work purposes and connecting them with a third-party client, which would be an employer, you as that broker have to E-Verify. So that way we know as a state that the individuals that you were bringing in here for work purposes have a legal right to work. We already require E-Verify from the employer side. So what we're doing is we're saying that this kind of intermediary is going to have to E-Verify. And we also state in code, because it was unclear, that if you are a staffing agency, you must also E-Verify if you are handling payroll and workers' compensation. So there's not an end around where you could say, oh, I'm using this third party to handle payroll and my workers' comp or what have you, but I'm not verifying the immigration status because I'm not their direct employer. So we've taken care of the direct employer issue there, and then what we're also doing is saying, if you bring these individuals, you have a responsibility that, because one, as you would know, I think that if you are this labor broker, an individual, that what they end up doing is take advantage of individuals that typically, one, might not be legal immigrants, or they are forced to have to work where that labor broker tells them to work and takes compensation from that immigrant. And so we will now be banning the practice of any kickbacks from third-party clients for bringing immigrant labor into the state. And that's already federal law. Like right now with an H-2A program, for instance, if I owned a company and I brought you labor, I couldn't be paid by that immigrant. I'm paid by the employer. Well, now what we're seeing happening, though, is some of these work-related, non-work-related visas, the individuals are bringing people in the state, and then they're getting paid by the immigrant for job placement services, anything you can think of, they're being paid, and we're saying you can't do that. And you also can't give a kickback to labor brokers if you're a staffing agency. So in my mind, and I think most people would agree, as long as we are preventing the practice of nickel and diming legal immigrants, and we're going to try to put a complete ban on that. So I think, in my mind, that is a very much a protection to legal immigrants. We're trying to stop the practice of them being taken advantage of. And what else? The other things that we are doing is we are going to, every state agency is going to start to use the SAVES program. The SAVES program is similar to E-Verify, but it's for government benefits. So when an individual applies for a public means tested benefit, they will need to input their information into the SAVES program, and then the federal government will let us know if that individual is entitled to that benefit. So, does that answer your question?
It did, and thank you. It helped to refresh my memory and also to remind me of the churches and the organizations that came to testify before us that were in opposition to the piece of legislation. There is a piece in here, too, that talks about the Foreign Worker Resource Fund that's created. Tell me a little bit about that and what that money is going to be used for.
That money will be used just to compensate workforce for expenses they have. You know, in terms of having to create a database or store information, that's going to be a cost on them. And so the fee will be set by workforce just to cover their expenses.
Well, sometimes you have to kind of know the writing on the wall, and I know what's going to happen with the committee. I believe I know what's going to happen with the committee. And I know we have to go in at 3:45 because I could talk a lot longer on this issue. And again, you and I can go back and forth about if we think this is going to protect immigrants or not. But
right. Well, I'm not going to interrupt you, Senator, but the writing on the wall is that I love you. And I appreciate everything you do. So I don't know. So I assume that means you would love me back if you see the writing on the wall.
I enjoy serving on Judiciary with you downstairs. You know, we can love each other and still agree to disagree. And that happens all the time in this body. But, Ms. Chair, again, I know that, you know, we have limited time and we still have a public hearing. And so I'm just going to ask on this particular piece of legislation that we have a roll call vote.
Okay. Well, we had to adopt the amendment first.
I forgot we were on the amendment.
Robert. All right. Do a roll call on the amendment.
Senator Butler. Senator Cornley. Senator Chasteen. Senator Coleman. Senator Figures. Senator Gavan. Senator Hatcher. Senator Hovey. Senator Kelly. Senator Melson. Senator Roberts. Senator Sessions. Senator Weaver. Senator Bell.
Aye.
And Senator Coleman.
I'll vote aye on the amendment.
Okay. I need a first and a second on the bill itself as amended. Got Weaver as a first. Roberts second. And previous roll, unless I think you want to be changed to a no.
Yes.
Anybody else? All right. Let's show Coleman no. So we're no, not abstention. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, committee.
All right. Next to be HB 376. I can do it real quick if you want me to for time. And this basically is license plates, moves it from 5 years to 10 years. Roberts is, Weaver's a first. Cornley second. And hush. All right. I'll be in the wrecking ball. All right. Previous roll. You want to add Coleman as a yes. Okay. All right. SB 273, we're going to have a public hearing first, or actually, Senator Weaver, just give us a brief, very brief description. I'm looking at the time.
Ms. Chair.
Yes.
Right before she starts, do you mind if I just do a brief acknowledgement? Because I don't know if they have to leave, just really, really quick.
Acknowledge who?
Acknowledge a group of folks that are in the audience.
Go ahead.
So I have to just acknowledge that my sorority sisters are here from Delta Sigma Theta
absolutely.
Sorority Incorporated.
Stand
all
up.
the ladies in the red in the back. And again, I didn't know if they were going to have to leave. I've got my pen on today, and I'll be in my red tomorrow.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for that moment.
All right, Senator Weaver.
So real quickly, this bill bans psychoactive cannabinoids except for what is legal hemp, which is less than 0.03% THC. It would remove the selling of hemp consumables from gas stations, convenience stores, vape shops, etc., and allow selling only in pharmacies. The regulating authority would be the Alabama State Board of Pharmacy and the Department of Ag and Industries.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
go ahead.
I have a question. Is that ban the Delta products?
Yes.
What about the ladies back here?
All right, he's trying to
Not
be a comedian.
that Delta product.
We're
We're irreplaceable and priceless.
All right. All right, we have a public hearing. Carmelo, I don't want to, I'm scared I'll butcher your last name and I apologize. So because of time, we're going to have to do 2 minutes. I apologize for that.
Fine. Thanks for having me.
Go ahead.
I think Senate Bill 273 is a direct attack on Alabama farmers, small businesses, and patient access to safe hemp products. This will classify psychoactive cannabinoids from hemp as a Schedule I drug, and even if derived legally under federal law. It restricts the sale of CBD and all non-psychoactive cannabinoid products to pharmacies only, eliminating access through wellness stores, health shops, and farmers markets. This will repeal existing protections and create new penalties without clarifying how current licensed hemp processors and growers like myself would be affected. Farmers and processors who have been fully licensed by the Alabama Department of Agriculture and Industries, we've operated locally and compliantly since 2018 and will be given no guidance or protection. These reasonable state-regulated businesses would suddenly be vulnerable to criminal prosecution or shut down overnight. SB 273 creates uncertainty, fear, and instability for businesses that have followed every rule for over 6 years while rewarding none of their good faith efforts to comply with state law. We can talk about how it violates federal law. There's several points there. There's no protection for existing licensed hemp farmers or processors. It offers no transition plan, no exemptions, no compensation. It'll shift powers to the pharmaceutical industry, where hemp and cannabis has never caused a single death.
5 seconds.
That can't be said for pharmaceutical drugs. Okay. I'd love to answer any questions.
All right. Anybody have any questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mitch. And Mitch, you're the same. I'm scared I'll butcher your last name, and I apologize.
Mr. Chairman, you're doing fine. Hunger pillar.
Pat, you absolutely can. No.
And here's some certificates of analysis. I understand there's a pharmacist here, and I also have my medical director.
Okay, thank you. All right. I'll wait 1 second before we. You ready? Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, thank you so much for allowing me to speak. I'm going to go kind of fast. I'm a CPA. I'm an entrepreneur, CPA publicly licensed for 30 years. I am a father of 3 sons. He just is graduating as a general surgeon. My other son rode his bicycle 4,000 miles across the United States for others in charity for Pi Kappa at Sanford University last summer. My youngest son, he's a chaplain of John Carroll High School for the student body. He's also the goalie, and they just won their sectional championship.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm here to advocate for regulation, but not absolute outlawing with Schedule I. That we've been, I've been a farmer and managed the finances of my Dallas County farm for over 200, not me over 200 years, but since 1817 for over 30 years. We have responsible manufacturing practices. We have child safety. I'd challenge some of you to try to open that can out of a pack tech. Some folks have a hard time doing that, and children under 12 have a. We also have responsible labs that test for heavy metals. We are the lowest dose, and there's a lab report that's here. We also have a pharmacist that owns 3 patents. He has taught pharmacy at Sanford University. He's our medical director. He invents health and wellness products from plant-based derivative products, and he's invented products that help lower cholesterol, increase good cholesterol, and lower blood pressure, and also wound care. And he's our medical director. We just want to let you know this is a very serious issue. We are 300 times less potent than the federal farm bill, and we just ask that you allow us to serve the Alabama customers that are in country clubs, grocery stores, down here at Montgomery Country Club, James Beard restaurants, and bowling alleys, coffee shops, etc.
Thank you, sir. Any questions? All right. I'll entertain a first and a second. Do we have a first? That's all there is. It's only 2 people. Unless you want to testify, Senator Coleman. We only have 2 people.
I want to talk,
Go ahead.
but that wouldn't be unusual.
I wasn't going to call you Senator Smitherman.
Hey, and you know, I have a lot of respect for the gentle lady, sponsor of the legislation. But from like page 9, that has all of these names and scientific names. Remember, I know my wheelhouse, and this is not it. And I know some work is going to be done. I think we should spend a little bit more time on even educating the members so we know what we're voting on. Because again, I think I'm highly intelligent, but I have no idea what most of these, what would you refer to them as? Substances? Yeah, but I just want to, yeah, and I hear you. I hear my colleague from Jefferson County over here. But again, I like to be intelligent about what I'm voting on, and that's a lot of pages of some things that, you know, I just would like to have some more clarity on.
And I know we're working on it, and there's been a lot of meetings. I know Senator Smitherman's been involved.
I'm not Senator Smitherman, no.
There's still a lot of work to be done.
Well, I'm glad we agree on that portion of it.
And I can tell you, I do not know those compounds
I have
either.
no
I have to look at
idea.
the guy in the very back of the room smiling, Angelo, and let him, he knows every bit of that, and I can admit I'm ignorant when it comes to all of the chemical compounds.
Like they said, it's just definition for Schedule 1.
Yeah, but I appreciate the work or the spirit of camaraderie that folks are talking about, at least of coming up with something that I guess folks can be happy with. And other thing I just want to mention, and of course this is not about legalization of marijuana or any of this other stuff, but I was at a dispensary on a trip in Las Vegas, and it was a legislative tour. Legislators from all over the country. Nobody in here, just me, was on it. So there's nobody in here because I'm getting ready to say something.
Even Hovey?
He was it was just me. I was there. And every legislator that was in on that tour, except for me, purchased something. I asked the question of the owner, and I asked her, as female, how much money are you making? And she wouldn't tell me exactly. She just said it's anywhere between 5 and 13 million. That was one dispensary. And just as we're, coming into the 21st century, I guess, here in Alabama on this particular issue, we really need to be looking at the taxation piece, education piece, but just also the resources at the end of the day of what we could do in the state of Alabama on a resource end. Because again, all of those legislators, but nobody here, everybody purchased something but me. And just need to put that out there as it relates to the financial benefit for the state of Alabama or what it could be.
Okay. I have a first. I know somebody said something a while ago, but I don't remember who it was. We have a first and second on this. Gavan's the first, or Roberts second. Okay. Oh. Do what? Roberts first. Okay. All right. Use previous role, no objection, or you want to be a no? Yes, you want to be a no?
Yes, I want to be a no.
All right. Senator Butler. Yes. Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions? You want to be added, Senator Kelly? Add Senator Kelly to the roll. All right. This meeting's over. Thank y'all. See y'all in the chamber in about just a couple minutes.
We're okay.
Hang on, Senator. Let me get a picture of you with that.
Yeah.